This is last strap of Sucker for Side Quests, and I'm currently through hiking the Pacific Crest Trail, SoCal section, just finished. I'm currently at Kennedy Meadows, over 700 miles in, just before entering the esteemed Sierra Nevada mountains. I thought it would be fun to interview other hikers who are also actively on the trail to learn what kind of incredible human or just straight up weirdo they have to be to attempt to walk from Mexico to Canada. And all of them have fascinating stories. My next guest, Twister, started on the same day as I did. We initially met over beers at CLEEF and had an instant connection. Over the next few hundred miles, we became a tramley called the Caterpillar that I fell behind, and we just reunited here in Kennedy Meadows. Here's Twister. Ready.
Let me enlighten you about my peanut butter strategy. Peanut butter is really heavy when you've got to hike for 7 days. So, I'm going to open up these wraps. I'm going to pre-make peanut butter wraps so that I've got them, but I don't have to carry like a whole thing of peanut butter because I've only got enough for a couple of wraps, or a few wraps. I'm going to have them all wrapped up, and then I can just eat them along the way.
I love that, but what, so do you just put them back in the same package?
No, I have this, so that they're not cross-contaminated, because some of these wraps will be for chicken wraps, and then others, I've got 3 spare wraps that I'll have for peanut butter wraps.
Okay.
And I'll just eat them over the first couple of days.
See, I like peanut butter in everything I eat, so I'll literally just for a snack just squirt that in my mouth.
Me too, normally I do, but
you don't want to carry it through
my bear can is already very full, and I don't think there is room.
Yeah, you don't want to carry that through the Sierras.
Every other time I do, but out of Bishop I probably will. Just this first 7-day stretch I'm trying to go peanut butter free.
Thanks for the bonus. Cheers. Well, whenever you're ready.
Cheers, dude.
Awesome to reuniting. Right. Well, thanks for joining me so much, Twister. Appreciate it. How did you get your trail name?
Well, my crew had a few names for me along the way. I had this theory that if I didn't tell people I was uncoordinated, no one would know. But before we'd even left the bus, or for the bus out of San Diego, I'd lost my O-ring from my Sawyer. Thankfully, it was rescued by another hiker. And within days, I was tripping over, breaking things. My stuff was going flying. You tentatively gave me yard sale, which still floats around from time to time. And then it came pretty quickly clear that I'm Twister because I'm a natural fucking disaster.
I love it. Well, I'm glad that you're still here. You didn't die of thirst in the sweltering desert, so you're doing great.
700 miles, baby.
So where does the lovely accent come from?
I'm from Brisbane, Australia.
Okay. That is the north, right?
It is. It's in the north, yeah.
I only know that because you usually say Brisbane in the north.
Yeah, I forget that people don't really know where Australia is, so I just try and make it easier for people.
Well, I appreciate it because I'm a dumb, uneducated in geography American, so...
I mean, when you first introduced yourself, I was like, yeah, the potato state. That was all I knew.
I'm from Idaho, in case that wasn't clear. So why did you choose to do the PCT?
That's a good question. So I don't know exactly when I first heard about it. Probably while I was backpacking through South America. And over there I started really getting into hiking and thinking, wow, how amazing is it to be in nature? And then over the years since, I started... playing this game of like whenever I was really miserable and didn't want to be wherever I was, like at work or whatever, it was always like, where would I rather be? And the answer was always like alone, in nature, having a good time, being free. And so then the PCT kind of aligned with that really nicely. And I first wanted to do it in 2020, and 6 weeks out, COVID hit. And so then I thought, I'll wait till COVID blows over, it'll be a little while. 3 years later, I tried again in 2023 and I needed knee surgery last minute. And then 2025 finally arrived and it felt like it was a year. And so now I still ask myself, where would I rather be on all of the hard days? But the answer always remains on the trail. usually at camp or in town having a beer, but always on the PCT.
Yeah, the last part, it resonates so hard, especially. Yeah, especially through these last few weeks have been so hard. And I love that story. I'm glad. So how is it? So 2025 came around and you've just been absolutely killing it, right? Like, you have been ahead of me the whole time, and I'm not saying that means anything at all, but like, I have actually physically pushed myself to try and catch up. So how do you push through? Like, how do you dig so deep to get through those hard parts?
Well, I always thought I would question wanting to be on the trail more often, but I honestly have never not wanted to be doing the PCT. So for me, the mental game hasn't been as big a challenge yet. However, going into the Sierras, I think that's going to be my hardest challenge because I don't do well in altitude. So for me, it's been more about I'm going to keep going until my body gives out. And so I've always said, hike until you're done, whether that was Hawser Creek on day one or Kennedy Meadows or, Canada, hopefully.
Look at you now.
So for me, I've been doing a lot of body maintenance. So I do like daily massages with my feet and my knees. And I do lots of stretching and I strapping up my feet and my knees and my everything all the time. Anyone who's seen my feet knows that they're purely disgusting.
I will attest. I'm sorry. I was thinking, like, I remember just the first week when we were together.
Yeah.
You were just miserable, but you still somehow continued to have the brightest, like, glowiest energy that every time, I personally was around you, I'm just like, how? Like, you looked like you were miserable physically, but like spiritually and mentally, you were just crushing it.
Yeah, look, I think that's basically how I felt for most of the 700 miles. You have those hard days where you're like, why am I doing this to myself? But for me, it's always been about, like, I'll try and keep going and I'll try and find ways to make it work. And, just laugh at myself being an absolute chaos machine along the way.
How does the Pacific Crest Trail differ from, you said, South America, right?
Yeah.
And trails in Australia?
Ooh, so where I live in Brisbane in the north, it's subtropical. So most of the hikes that I do are day trips and they're through rainforest and it's humid and there's lots of water and I take it very slow and it's very chill. I've never done a through hike like this before. I've done multi-day trips where I've like base camped and hiked every day. Like I did that a lot in South America. And I've done where you have a Sherpa who carries your stuff or you hike to a hut or something like that. But this is the first time I've had to carry all of my gear on my back, trial by fire.
That's awesome. Because this is my first through hike too, so I can fully relate. And you were talking last night about dropping bears. I'd never heard of that before. Is that something that if like I wanted to go do a hike in Australia, first of all, what are they? Tell us about them.
So a drop bear is, it kind of looks like a koala, but it has sort of like saber-toothed fangs that kind of come down. And they're sort of like a koala that's gone rabid. So it's basically following the same procedures of koalas. They're nocturnal, they hang out at night, they sleep most of the day. But when you're hiking, sometimes they'll like come out of trees and they'll drop down onto your back. And so if you're not careful, it'll like rip the back of your throat out, which is not ideal.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
Oh. Hiking along,
yes.
And then all of a sudden some rabid, saber-toothed fanged bear creature falls out of a tree and rips your throat out?
Yeah, but they're little and they're kind of cute. So they're also an endangered species, so like it's pretty limited and pretty rare, but the occasional tourist gets eaten.
Okay, well, at least we don't have that to worry about on the PCT, I guess.
Only real bears.
Yeah, only black bears, now that we're entering the section that we have to carry a bear canister to keep ourselves and the bears safe from.
Yes, and that is possibly the saddest moment of my life, is carrying my backpack with that full bear canister of 7 days of food.
How has it been hiking with the Caterpillar? Because I haven't been with the Caterpillar. I'm hoping to get most everybody interviewed if I can. I know it's going to be hard because we're short on time, but how has that been over since I've missed out?
So I'm biased, but I think our Caterpillar crew is possibly the greatest people on the planet. They are just some of the most unique, funny, kind, ridiculous and weird people I've ever met. And I am so grateful that I've had the chance to meet all of them and yourself. I went into the hike fully intending on hiking the whole PCT by myself, maybe meeting people here and there. So I couldn't believe that the first couple of people I met are people that I'm still with today, like yourself. Dizzy, one of the crew from our group, he was actually the second hiker I ever met. And then I think you might have been like the third or fourth. So to be able to sort of see the people that we started with 6 weeks down the track at Kennedy Meadows, which is such a monumental achievement, I feel incredibly privileged. It's been a long time, I think, because so many of us have been split up. So, like Sarah, Dan, Drizzle, Chapstick, all of that crew I hadn't seen until like a couple of days ago or a week ago. So really it's like being the 5 of us at the front hiking and then only just getting to catch up with you all now. So it's been a real privilege, I think, to be able to be reconnected.
I love that. Yeah, it's so wild to me too how and I think this always comes up in these interviews about the community.
Yeah.
And how it just seems like this trail, there's something about it that is so, like, the people are just so supportive, and I agree. I think the Caterpillar is absolutely, it's wild. You're all just so different, and I hope that I had an interview with Drizzle, but I hope to get, because you're from all over the world. We've got Australia, 3 people from Germany, America, I think England, the UK, yeah. So what do you think it is about this trail, or just, maybe it's through hiking or just connecting in nature in general that creates such a warm sense of community?
So I think it's this really interesting paradox in through hiking, because most of us are introverts in some way. So even if we've got big personalities, we all actually really like our alone time. And so I think for some of us it's a real challenge to have that alone time, and then others it's not having enough alone time. But there's something about being a part of a community that makes you feel like you belong. And I didn't realize how much I would lean on that. I know the power of community from the work that I do, and I love the concept of being a part of a community, but really feeling that sense of community in the Caterpillar has been an experience I haven't really had before. So it was a paradox for me, because I thought I would be alone, and I like to be alone, and I still need my alone time. But being in the community, I think, is partly why I haven't struggled so much with wanting to leave the trail, because I haven't wanted to, that's that FOMO, that fear of missing out, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's part of it, because I can relate too. I think I planned mostly just because most of us, probably came out here with just like, all right, I can do this. And then we end up with these people that, like, we've known for hours, that are like bonds for life, and will not let us quit. Even aside from the FOMO, it's like they will not let you bow out. Like, if anything's wrong, everybody's right there to make sure, do you have food, do you have water, do you have blister patches, and it's just, I think it's so unique. It's a phenomenon that I'm so fascinated by, and that's why I bring it up in so many interviews. So I love the answer that you gave. It's been a pleasure getting to know you across this trail, and I was so excited to come back into Kennedy Meadows and finally see you and get a big hug. And one last question, then I'll let you get to your beer. How do you feel about limericks?
Oh, limericks are the absolute greatest thing of all time. My Twister limerick I actually wrote about in my journal the other day because I was missing you when I was like, this guy wrote the greatest limerick ever. You need to share that with the audience.
I think you should.
I don't know it off the top of my heart. I haven't had signal, but I do have the video.
Let me see. There once was a girl named Twister. None of the men could resist her.
Yeah.
With with blisters on her feet, the trail she did beat, and at the end everyone missed her.
That's it. That's so amazing.
It's been like what, 400 or 500 miles since.
Wild. Yeah. I've still got the video, and I was trying to load it the other night so I could put it in my journal, but it wouldn't load. So I'm gonna have to write that down so I can remember it because it's in my head. I just am not good at enunciating. I'm not either, obviously. I forgot it. It's sometimes they just for whatever reason limericks became my thing on the trail. Never done it before ever, and it's just amazing.
I've been just coming up with them for everybody, and I think yours was the first, and we were just hiking together.
I was gonna say that was such a hot day. We were coming up the hill. It was crazy inclinations. And it just made that afternoon so much fun.
Well, you made it so much fun. Really appreciate you taking the time to hang out. And I really hope I can catch up to you in the Sierras. I know you guys are leaving soon, but it's been an absolute delight getting to know you. And I can't wait for many more miles together in the future.
Yeah, the Caterpillar's just like a really long crew. And sometimes we get close, sometimes we stretch out. We'll see each other again.
I believe so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ready.
Let me enlighten you about my peanut butter strategy. Peanut butter is really heavy when you've got to hike for 7 days. So I'm going to open up these wraps. I'm going to pre-make peanut butter wraps so that I've got them, but I don't have to carry like a whole thing of peanut butter because I've only got enough for a couple of wraps or a few wraps. I'm going to have them all wrapped up, and then I can just eat them along the way.
I love that, but what? So do you just put them back in the same package?
No, I have this so that they're not cross-contaminated because some of these wraps will be for chicken wraps and then others I've got 3 spare wraps that I'll have for peanut butter wraps.
Okay.
Then I'll just eat them over the first couple of days.
See, I like peanut butter in everything I eat, so I'll literally just for a snack just squirt that in my mouth.
Me too, normally I do, but
you don't want to carry it through
my bear can is already very full and I don't think there is room.
Yeah, you don't want to carry that through the Sierras.
Every other time I do, but out of Bishop I probably will. It's just this first 7-day stretch I'm trying to go peanut butter free.
Thanks for the bonus.